Welcome to this new Addon Spotlight. This is the first Addon Spotlight for 2022, so first of all, Happy New Year. I hope this year will bring a lot of fun for Flight Simulator 2020 and a lot of updates, a lot of world updates, but also a lot of cool community add-ons like this one. This is the latest add-on and it was already announced, I would say, earlier last year. It's the Discus 2 Charlie glider. So it's a glider which you can use to fly around in Flight Simulator. It has been released today. It has a lot of cool stuff, including say support for the winch, right? To I would say pull the aircraft into the air. If we look at the details, because that's what we're gonna do in this video, you can see that they spent a lot of time of adding a lot of quality, right? So the modeling has been done, say, really nicely. You can see a hatch here. Here you can see already some things from the cockpit. The aircraft is laying on its side. It has some wheel, or one, I think one wheel. It has, yeah, one wheel in the center. And there's the winch hook, which you can hook up on the front to pull the aircraft in the air. You can see the co-pilot or the pilot already enjoys it. On the wings, or on the tail, I should say, you can see some information, right, about the 1 kilogram per liter, and then there are some different markers here, and then here are the flags of the developers, or probably the country developers. Here we've got the let's say wheel, right, which we can or the wing which we can use for steering. So let's go inside the aircraft and have a look at this. So there are several things. Here's the display Imperial units, which is a button which you can switch to use or to change the Imperial units. Then we've got the glare chute, lights off or on, so you can switch on the lights. You've got the communication radio, right? So you can see it has an active and a standby, as all normal aircrafts have. It has a nice meter. Let me go a little bit closer to it. With I would say with a wing, right? So you can change it. This is to set the kilometers per hour, right? This is to set the speed. We've got the altimeter, or is this the altimeter? No, this is also the speedometer. Was looking wrong. This also shows the let's say speed. And then we've got the winch control, which has an option here to switch to the LX mode. Then it will show you the map, and the map can be used for navigation purposes. If we would go to altitude, then you would see this one, so it's the horizon. And you can also go to status, which shows you the pedalizing, the battery, the water ballast, the units, and the bus load. You can switch all of them off by pressing the buttons again, right? And by using the bottom on the top, you can change to different views, although that's not implemented. By clicking on the map itself, you can navigate, as you can see, and you can zoom in and out using the buttons shown here. This goes back to the winch. If I'm correct, this centers on the helicopter, on the aircraft again. Winch, you can switch to winch control back using this button. This one I'm not 100% sure what it's used for, but it looks like it has to do with the winch, as you can see here. Then we've got the altimeter, which is shown here. Some nice buttons to, I would say, display sounds. The open air conditioning vent, and then some other meters. This is probably the speed, what is this? This is probably the climb speed and descent speed. Yeah. The pitch, the insert tau table requires the kinetic assistant, and that's something I need to tell you. So the kinetic assistant can be used to, I would say, either pull or tow aircrafts. It also, for example, can be used on some of the aircraft carriers. So if you want to use this button, you need to have the Connect Assistant, and the Connect Assistant comes in two versions. There's a free version, which has a lot of options, but it's, say, between brackets, kind of limited. Then you might ask, okay, hey, but what are those limitations? Well, if we look at the limitations, it has to do with the number of tow plane tracks included in the, which means, it looks like it means the number of tows which you can do. So in the free version it's 2 with a maximum of 5, while in the Kinetic Assistant the tow plane tracks is the Assistant Plus is 4. The track recording replay time limit is 15 minutes in the Connect Assistant and 10 hours in the Kinetic Plus. Then the nav scan radius is 5 for the Kinetic and 50 for the Kinetic Assistant. And the build is debug for the Kinetic Assistant and the release for the Kinetic Assistant Plus. If you want to buy the Plus, you need to go to Sim Market where you can buy the tool. In a future video, I will show you how you can use this feature in combination with this specific aircraft. So all kind of cool things, right? Also buttons which you can easily change. Then here we've got a few other things. Oh, probably I did something wrong. Let me reset the view, restart. Probably I hit a button which I shouldn't have hit. Probably it was the button to hit the to start the winch. So here are all the buttons which you can use, right? So you can hide the remote stick, and this is the release rope. Well, as you just saw, right? If you hit this button, it will pull the aircraft in front of it, or in front. Here we've got the VFR mode, right? If you press VFR, that will go to the transponder code like this. If you want to change it, or if you want to change the transponder from on to standby, you can use this button, and you can change the transponder code as being assigned by the ATC. So I can say on, off, on, and GND. Then here are some other buttons which I don't think you can use at this moment. At least they are not, you can't use them yet, but I would expect, or I'm expecting that they will start to work in the future. Let me try it from a different view. No, even from a different view it doesn't work, so then we need to do it like this. Then we've got the battery, which you can open and close and switch on or off the master battery. There's also a battery button here, but that doesn't have a function yet. Remove canopy cover before lift, yeah, or flight. That makes sense. We've got the landing gear here on the right side, and then when we go here, we can change the ballast. Right, it's currently set to closed, but you can also open it. Then you will release more water. That's something we will probably have to, let's say, dive in a little bit more deeper. And here you've got the checklist. So you can pull a checklist here and then you can read it. The checklist also is included in the PDF, which comes with the download of this aircraft. So here you can see what you need to do to take off. Then here's the, I would say, cool thing for the air conditioning. If you're switching it on, then you can change it here. You can change the direction probably. Then when moving to the other side, here we've got the pitch. So you can change the pitch trim, either to be having more ballast on the front or more ballast on the tail. And we've got the speed brakes. And we can open the canopy. It will also open this one. I'm not sure if that's normal. I do expect it is. And that will show it like this. Right, so let's go outside. And now you can, I would say, leave the aircraft. And by seeing this, I think it's normal, because else you couldn't leave the aircraft. So going back inside, we can close it again by searching for the button, and the button is here, so you can press it and then it will close it. By default, the battery is enabled. So if you are, I would say, also take off from runway, it's enabled. If you're taking off from a parking spot, it's of course closed or switched to off, sorry. Looking back, well, there's nothing more besides, I would say, a nice label. and I would say, and the chair. Here we can see the weights in rough air, the maximum speeds, the knots, and the miles per hour. And that's it, right? So I'm really impressed by the quality. I must say, it's keep in mind that it's a community add-on, right? It's completely being developed by the community, which is great. So thank you, developers of this great aircraft. So next step is probably, I would say, take it for a flight. Yes, let's do that. Let's use this option. You can see the hinge or the say the winch control. You can use it to connect it. Then it will connect the aircraft to the winch, which means it's connected to a cable, and the cable is I would say not seen here. That's normal because it's not built in by default in Flight Simulator. So the first thing you need to do is you need to change the I'd say distance. So in this case 1500 meters, and it pulls me with 130 kph, which means kilometers per hour. And you can change that to either 110 or 150, depending on what you want. And you can also change the, let's say, distance of the runway. For example, in this case, I think the runway is pretty long, so you can leave it to 2000, or you can change it to 1500, or you can change it to 2000 if the runway is a little bit longer. So let's switch on the lights. You can also see that that works, right? So shall we give it a try? Well, why not? So we're gonna say launch. You can see that it's not that easy. So it pulls us up in the air. And the nice thing is that you can keep an eye on this. So what you need to do is you need to try and stay in the, I would say, in the center. Else it will auto deviate. So it will, what it will mean is it will automatically release the cable, because it does make sense to leave the cable connected, because then you will damage the airplane, and you will probably also do something weird with the airplane, which I mean is really crashing. So we're currently flying. You can see also that the cables or the views are working nicely. So is it required to have the add-on installed? And I'm referring to the add-on we just discussed. No, not specifically, unless you want to use this option, which has the ability to use the kinetic mode. But for now, we didn't use it. You can see we're having to, let's say, not enough speed, so we probably need to land somewhere. So let's look from the outside. It's pretty nice, right? If we look from the back, and this is a complete different way of flying compared to the, let's say, normal flying, for example, with a Cessna, right? Keep in mind that you need to search for the thermal or for the thermal sights in the air. So probably, let's say, also need to practice a lot with this. You can also see all kind of cool views. So the view from the bottom shows where you're flying from, not where you're flying to. So that's something you need to take into account. You can see that the angle of attack is red, so that doesn't mean it's really good. So we need to adjust the angle. Probably it was because we, say, were not completely in line with the cable, which meant that we didn't receive maximum speed. View is always 0 in this case, so don't be shocked with that. So let's see if we can put it softly to the ground. For that I want to go into the cockpit again. Brake. Rough landing. But we made it. So we made a very short flight with this nice aircraft. As already mentioned, right, it's, I'd say, a really nice aircraft with different views. A lot of options, which we still need to try out, of course. Here ends this review. It's the first add-on Spotlight of this year. I hope you liked it. If you liked it, then consider to use the like button. If you've got questions or comments, then feel free to post them in the comment box below. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, because I'm still looking for some more subscribers. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.